Welcome back. We are going to look at what a fully fleshed out Notion space can look like. And all the linkability. So what I've gone ahead and I've done what I referenced in the last video, which was beautification of everything. I added lots of pictures, I colored things, I added more pages, but the bare bones structure is still here. The only real difference here is this literature library. And if we have time today, we'll get into that, but I wanted to look at all the linkability that we talked about last time. So here, I changed my study list into a cascading colors of different topics rather than important concepts to study, because they're all important. Everything that goes on a study list is important. So I put two different synced blocks here and then I put that ancestral protein reconstruction that we did last time. And then the rest of these are mostly empty because I haven't gotten to them yet, even though I have done a lot. I haven't done everything. So why don't we check in the state of order cetacea? That was one that we kind of left. You can still see here that I have this Wikipedia link. Mostly I like it for the picture. Let's be honest. I changed the whale emoji to that icon to be 2D, just to unify everything. This is where that call out came from, or that synced block came from. So there's different types of whales. But what the really cool thing here is this literature library. So let's go back to Knowledge Wiki. So let's go to the literature library. It is a giant database of just literature I've read. So it doesn't have anything actually imported, any content, but it has all of my notes about each. And so what's really useful is that if you create an empty entry in the database, it doesn't have an icon. But when you do start adding notes and to it, it creates this icon over here. So I have these notes and it is put in back. And so what's here is this paper I thought was so important, I just made the entire note section of this paper that I took as a synced block. So if we go here, we're editing in one other page. Let's go to that page. So this is the original where we're at, the paper. And then I'm going to go to the Bohr effect, which is a new paper that I did. And so here I have 3 columns, lots of pictures, lots of text. But here what's really useful is this from page. So I'm going to actually show you how I did that. So from the @ symbol. So the @ symbol then pulls up a thing to tag, like any social media. So you could do a date, you could do people, but what is really useful for us is to link a page. Oh, if I did it right. So each entry in the literature database is a page, which you can actually click and link. And so this is a forward link, and if we go up, we can see that it has 3 backlinks, and we can see that they're all on the Bohr effect page. I'm going to delete this because we don't need it twice. But if we go back, we have 2 backlinks, and they're both on the Bohr effect page. You can see that the backlinks I've used as a way to quickly cite where I've gotten information. So it's a pseudo citation. And then this relevant literature is a view of a database. So here, I'm just going to show you, we're going to create a new one. So /view. So then we have all the database views. I'm going to do a list view because we don't need all the information. We're going to take it off of a link existing database, so literature library. And so this is all of literature library, which is way too much. Go to this view because this dot enter edits literature library. We want this. So we can change the name of it, the source, and then the layout. But let's go layout. Show database title. We don't need to know the database title. Open pages in, let's do full page. Show page icon. So that is a good way to see if you've taken notes. So see that one here with the lines, that's the one that populated when we took the notes. These other ones are the default that don't have anything. Yes, and we can also filter, which is really useful. So filter by tags. All right, so now we want tags contains. We're on the bore effect. So I actually made a tag in my database that was bore effect. So then only literature or entries that have the tag bore effect will come up here. So I'm just going to delete this because we don't need it duplicated. And that's how I've done it for every single page that has this relevant literature. I've talked about linking to it. I've talked about displaying a view of it. Let's go to literature library. So I click on it, and this is the big thing here. I did a sort function so that if you didn't have anything, this would be what it would look like. Go over here to the two arrows, sort, and then we have one here, so name and ascending. So let's go new. What does a new page look like? I have not created a template here, so it is just the database. Let's say, and so that's the key or the name that it's going to be brought up as the name of the page, which is not the same as the publication title. So the publication title is fancy title, publication year 2024, publication title. So this is where the journal that it was published in. Here, we'll call this a journal article. The DOI is 1, 2, 3, 4, that, because it's a fake number. Author, well, really, we should be consistent. It's fancy name. And then tags. So this is where I've gone and tagged every single piece of literature. So what you can do is take the keywords that the author has supplied, but if you want to be more specific to yours, you can use those as a starting point and then really take what you wanted. So maybe something was labeled seals and stuff, but that's not really, you don't care if it's seals, you just want it to be general mammals. So you can do that there. All right, and so we've added our content. I don't want to take any notes on the thing yet, so I'm going to close that. And then if we look all the way down at F, we have fancy name 2024. And here we go. I really don't want that in my database, so I'm going to delete it. But this is really useful. What is the most useful feature of this, though? This. So it's not the database, it's the page. So the 3 dots up here, merge with CSV. this feature takes a CSV file, which is a like an Excel file but simple, and then it takes that and will append to a database that has the same titles. So that's actually what I did up here. Is I had an empty database and I added to it based off of a CSV file that I had created. And in another video, I'll show you how to take from something like Zotero, a reference manager, which is a free one that I use. I exported to CSV, but then I had to do some creative finagling in Excel in order to get all of this really pretty, because there's so much more extra information that I don't care about to view in a database like this. And I automatically created these custom names, which was a lot of coding, but I'll share that code with you so you don't have to figure it out yourself. The only thing that you would have to do is this key, which is what Zotero calls it. Zotero automatically gives an alphanumeric key, but in Notion, I don't want to be using the @ symbol and then typing in an alphanumeric key that I won't remember, versus I can type in the first author. And because that's how I usually think about papers. But if you do think about it as subject or the key finding of a paper, so here, world's smallest whale population, let's just change it. So if you remember it as small whale pop, then we go up to S, then the key that you've given it is small whale population, and that is how you can reference them. So you don't have to reference it like a actual citation manager. You can reference these entries in however way you want. I want, I'm just hitting edit undo. I want this to be like a reference manager. And so that's my choice. And that's why I used Excel to automatically populate these, because I didn't feel like doing this. Right now it's not terrible. I think it's like 60 entries or something like that. We can actually go down and check. Calculate, count all. We have 58. So I was pretty close with 60. And yeah, I can actually just leave this so I can quickly see how many I have. And that is how I use databases for the literature. You can put in screenshots of a paper if you want to do something. And then what I found useful is these callouts. So the auto callout has this light bulb, which I think is really useful, because so you see this gray box and then it has this colorful light bulb, which I think is really draws your eye to a unique idea. I'll show you actually also how to do these little, this is supposed to be for code, but I like using it as a quick shorthand to use a code parameter, because I'm a computational biologist, but you can also use it to quickly highlight a specific set of words. So this is the key underneath the escape key. That's what I did. And so that is a coding convention, is to do that. So it's the key right beside to the left of the number 1 key on your keyboard. I don't know what it's called. But that's what it looks like. If we want maybe something in italics, you do a single asterisk, and then if you want something in bold, you do 2 asterisks on either end. And so this is really useful if you are just in the middle of writing and you don't want to go back later, because you can also always go back. Say I go to this Pam text, it's still text, but I can make it a hyperlink, or a link. I can change the color itself so it's still regular text. We can put as default. We can bold, underline, italicized, strike through, or mark as code, and that's how you get this. But we can just undo all of these because I don't want any of them in my actual thing. And then, yeah, more options here. So yeah, I'm just gonna delete this call out. Yeah, as you can see here, like this is an example of the one paper that I put as a note rather than Hayes et al. Yeah. So that's going to be it for today. It's a short video, but I wanted to show you all the linking functionality. If you have any questions on anything that you saw in here that happened during the jump between the last video and now, because there is a lot of differences in terms of content, put a comment under the video and I'll follow up with it. All right. Bye, everyone.